There aren't many men whose stories will be told at the campfires of future generations. Beethoven, Einstein, Kanye West. Tonight, let us look at one of those stars that changed our visions for all of eternity. This is the story of Brandon Schmidt. Let's start this story off from the very beginning. On December 21st, 1992, a star was born. After a grueling 1,735 hours of labor, his mother gave one last heroic push, and the incredible happened. As the doctors looked on awkwardly, that baby flew and landed his first ever backflip. Legend has it that Dr. Swagger held that child in the moonlight and said,
"Ma'am, your son was born to flip."
Living life, having fun, and skating.
After Brandon's gnarly birth, he grew up as a boy who could flip on anything. By age 20, Brandon's flips had made him the king of action sports. He had flipped just about everywhere you can imagine. From Pluto to Yo Mama's house. He could ride anything, including ladders and golf carts. He had imploded the action sports industry, hitting the covers of Vogue, Time magazine, and Cat Fancy. Soon enough, the news stories of aliens and mayhem were replaced with accounts of the wondrous Flipper Boy. To train in his craft, Brandon made a home for himself at Camp Woodward, the most mind-melting action sports camp on the face of this galaxy. It was at Woodward that he found a beautiful posse of friends that loved riding BMX and racing cars. Brandon had gained a gang of amigos, and thus the Wolf Pack began. Jeremiah Smith, a medieval lord of BMX, Woodward local and winner of multiple X Games gold medals, Jeremiah was an internationally known princess of BMX Street. Cody Stoddard, the pack's master filmmaker, an elf with a video camera. This orange-haired dog could hit record and aim a lens like a pro marksman. Last, but certainly not least, Mr. Zane Bradley. He was Brandon's BFF, his brother. Heck, they were practically Siamese twins. An upcoming star in the world of BMX, Zane was breaking down barriers like a gosh darn Hulk. His riding was unreal. It was as if you mixed a condor and a cougar and put it on a BMX bike. As Cody, Brandon, Zane, and Jeremiah continued to scoff down juleps, the Wolfpack feasted on the action sports world.
Ow!
But then one day things took a turn when Zane got called into a balloon-filled room with Quantasia Shanigan, a thieving businessman and self-made horseback rider. He was so intelligent you could hardly understand what he was saying.
Zane Bradley, I have a life-changing offer to make to you today, boy. You ever heard of spinning?
You mean the opposite of flipping?
Exactly! Brandon Schmidt, yeah, he is straight up G for show. But I tell you one thing, he got a bit of kryptonite under that Superman exterior of his. He only wanna flip.
So what? Why do you need me?
I got a specialized team of the best action sports and analytics made up of the best carpenters and gorillas man has ever known. They concluded that spins is the new flips. We's planning on making a revolutionary company called Veggie Nar.
Veggie Nar.
We believe that if spins become the new staple in action sports, we will be swimming in gold, my man. We want you to be the poster boy of our company, Zane.
Brandon's my best friend. There's no way I'd ruin him.
If you sign on this X right here, Zane, you'll have all the women, fame, and fortune. How's that sound, pal?
I'm in.
My friend, we're about to put a spin on the entire world of action sports.
The next day, as Brandon was watching the Super Bowl, his life changed forever.
Oh, flips are such an eyesore. I'm done with skateboarding forever.
Well, hey there, little lady man. What if I told you there was a new trick in town?
And what trick might that be?
Spin!
Spinning is like turning. It's a turnaround.
Depuis que j'ai commencé à tourner, je peux dormir sans les lumières allumées.
Check out our professional spinner, Zane Bradley. Look at that spin. But look at that spin.
You're not spinning, you're not winning.
Spins.
Come on, man. Hey, fire knocker, why don't you take your flips to Narnia?
Welcome to Narnia!
Hey, Cody, I just learned how to eat walleye flip. Want to come film it?
Things weren't looking up for Brandon. His sponsors dropped him like a sack of taters. Zane's spinning had hit the covers of major magazines like Women's Fitness. Not to mention his autobiography, Spinning to Winning, was a New York Times bestseller and had won a Grammy, Oscar, and Nobel Peace Prize. Brandon no longer had a place in action sports, so he left his home and family at Camp Woodward behind him. However, 3,000 miles into his drive, as he was sobbing like a baby and fat, the unthinkable happened.
No.
After that totally real car crash, Brandon was trapped and helpless. Brandon had no choice but to continue his journey on foot, and he walked for 279 miles. The skies grew dark, and the weather grew cold. So the weary flipper took refuge in an Amish barn.
I've seen you walk these fields before. You're the flippin' boy, aren't ya?
Not anymore. I'm a nobody now. Worthless. Everyone loves spinning now. I lost my car, my home, even my wolf pack.
Son, come out of that corridor. I got something I want to show you. When I was young, all I wanted to do was ride my scooter. My dream was to ride for Nitro Circus, a legendary team of action sports doofuses. Nitro embraced all walks of life, including flippers, spinners, and grabbers.
So, why didn't you ride for this Nitro Circus?
You see, the Amish lifestyle is about staying local. Not traveling internationally, doing shows, or flying around in spaceships around the universe like everyone else does. I had something I loved to do, something I knew I was dope nasty at.
So, what should I do?
Don't let a culture that doesn't accept you be your downfall. Go out. YOLO. Go join Nitro Circus Live. Go back to Camp Woodward immediately. Look for Beaver Fleming and Brandon Lupos. They're your tickets into Nitro Circus Live. Go fulfill your destiny. Take the chance that I never did.
With newfound inspiration, Brandon ran back to Woodward once again. A journey that would take him 4.5 minutes. Gary let him back into camp. Brandon began asking everyone he could if they knew where the infamous Beaver Fleming and Brandon Lupos were. Finally, Clay and Dave told Brandon that he could find them at the Mini Mega Ramp. This was his moment to shine.
Beaver Fleming, Brandon Lupos, I want to join Nitro Circus Live.
You want to be on Nitro? Well, you got to be willing to send it. You got to be savage and Australian.
Here you go, mate. Start the call me chuck your shinies, pop the collar, see what you got, mate.
Woo! Yo, go get it, bud.
Time to send it.
up with you.
Just like in your typical Cinderella story, I think we all know what happened next. Brandon quickly became an integral part of the Nitro Circus live crew. Some call Brandon a saint, and others an innovator. But I like to think of him simply as Brandon Schmidt, the boy who was born to flip.